What's up, everybody? Today I'm doing a Skype call with Joe, and he has a YouTube channel with a couple videos about Excel. He's working on Udemy courses and wanted to ask a couple questions about some different things. How you doing, Joe?
Hi, I'm doing great, Jack. Thank you for having me here.
No worries, man. Good to be here. I love
Yeah.
talking to people and reaching out with my audience. It's so fulfilling, and I learn a lot. It makes me feel good to be able to bring some value to people, and my audience benefits as well.
Yeah, I've seen some spectacular content and material on a very short-term kind of time frame, and I really respect all the stuff that you have out there. Great. So should I start asking questions?
Yeah, we're just talking now. Whatever you
Okay,
want to talk about.
great. So like I told you, I have two different Udemy courses, which have been going through some transition and circumstantial change. However, my first question is for you is what is a specific path to income or fee that you can suggest with respect to these courses? Uh, I have two right now. One of them is has been toggled between free to paid multiple times,
Okay.
and the second one has not been toggled from free to paid.
So, can you tell me the name of your Udemy course so I can find it real quick so that the viewers can see it in the background?
Sure. Can I type it for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I can actually just click on the link from earlier.
There's the two courses.
Okay. Principles for stock trading and fast Excel for MBAs.
Actually, do you want the exact names?
No, I think I found it. Is it
Yeah.
by? Is your account Jeep Finance?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's the first one, and then I can find other courses by clicking on the instructor. And here we go. Click on this again. And so your Excel course is newer.
Yes, the Excel course is the course that has not been toggled from free to paid.
Okay. So I can bring one thing up real quick. I went
Yeah.
to the Udemy Instructor Meetup, and the recurring theme from that is that
Yeah.
free courses get really bad analytics. People are much more critical. They are much less likely to actually engage in the content because they are not giving up anything. So, what the people from Udemy at that event said to me is that the goal is for all courses to be paid, but to have a mini course version of each course that is free. And the reason you want to do this is because typically, do you understand how the coupon system works on Udemy?
Somewhat. I am following, yes.
So coupon is a bit misleading because really it is just a way for you to get the full price of the course when it sales. So if you have a coupon for $20, somebody pays $20 for your course, you get 97% of that because you brought the traffic, right? Whereas
Right.
normally, if Udemy were to sell the course, you would get between 25 and 50%. So between $2 and $10 for the course.
Okay,
And
so
this is because Udemy is bringing the traffic. So
great.
when you have a free course, you are gaining Udemy traffic. And Udemy makes one exception in coupon code sharing. Normally, you cannot share coupon codes because from Udemy's perspective, well, Udemy is giving you the traffic. So if you share coupon codes, then you are just taking their traffic and claiming it for your own, and then they do not make the money. However, in the very last lecture of a course, you are allowed to put in a coupon code for your other course. So essentially, with free courses on Udemy, it's important to understand the analytics are bad for them. People are very likely to sign up, but like 90 to 98% of those people will often not even take the first lesson in the course. And this is really important to understand because Udemy's main metric is engagement. They look at how much of your course students are taking. Once you have social proof that people are engaging in your course, then Udemy will start to push your course. And that's how you grow on Udemy. But if you have a free course, it guarantees that your analytics are messed up. So this is why it is best practice to have a free crash course or mini course that guides and directs people to your main course. Because this way, your free course gets all of the signups, so you are building traffic that way, and it could have bad ratings, whatever. It doesn't matter because it is free. People will still sign up for it. 9 out of 10 of these people will not engage with the course, but every now and then somebody will. They get to the end, and then they can go to take your paid course, and you get the credit for that traffic, even though it came from Udemy. And so the main takeaway that I got from going to the Udemy event and talking to Udemy employees and other teachers was that you should have full paid courses that start out as paid, not as free. And you should also have a mini course on the side that acts as an advertisement or an entry to your paid course. This mini course will absorb the bad analytics that you get from having free courses, but it will also enable you to grow an audience on Udemy because it is free.
Great. So thank you, Jack, for that information. And I did review your previous videos, and I saw that in Toronto you had visited the Meetup. So I did extract this. This is amazing information. So with this in mind, given the existing situation, I have 2 courses. One of them is free, which is the Excel one, which I would like to utilize as the vehicle, as the crash course. And then maybe perhaps price the principles of stock trading course and utilize them as a bridge. Do you think that would be a fair evaluation?
Yeah, definitely. So for what it's worth, a 4.1 on a free course is good. That is like free courses, the analytics, like it is common to get like 1 star out of 5 because the free sign up didn't have good internet and your video loaded slowly and they blame you. These kind of things are very common.
Okay, great. Now, if I move into detail, what will be the tiering structure that you would recommend for a course, or how would you recommend that I go about pricing my Principles of Stock Trading course, which has been in the market since July 2017?
To be honest, I think on Udemy, all of your courses should be the maximum price, which is $200. This is just because Udemy will never, ever sell your course at full price. Udemy is a $10 to $20 course marketplace. So it is a bit misleading because they don't really teach you this when you are making a course with them. They ask you how much you want to sell it for. They ask you for the base price, but they don't explain to you that it will never sell for base price. So it may sound expensive to say it's $200. The reality is it will almost always be $10 to $20.
Fantastic, fantastic. And now, for example, I will look at the extreme upper range pricing for the Principles of Stock Trading course as you recommend. So if I go back to the free crash course and I was to integrate the last module, as in, the nice, the coupon, right, in the last module, how would I go about discounting it? Would I discount it to up to $10 as a full price?
So this is where the word coupon is a little bit misleading because really it's not a coupon. It is just a link that claims the traffic as your own, okay? So in my case, for example, my courses, Udemy sells them often for like $10 or $11. People buy them on my YouTube channel with the link for $20. So they're actually paying more when they use my coupon code. And this may seem counterintuitive. People would be like, oh, they will never do that. They will always just get the cheaper one. But the reality is, a lot of people in my case, they would like to support me. Anytime that somebody pays $20, and then they ask sometimes, like 3 times people have asked me because they say, oh, but now it is only $10. Can I have refund? And then I explain, look, this is how the Udemy system works. When you pay through the YouTube channel, I am getting all of that money. You are supporting me. It is worth the money. I say that confidently. And every time so far, they have understood and they have been okay with that. Even though technically, through the coupon, they are paying more than what they may be able to get on Udemy.
Okay, that's very fair and honest information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a link, and the coupon will be at $20 for those people that would like to support my development and understanding all of the constraints that you have presented for the people. I think this is very enough for me to go back to my desk and actionable recommendations to get the Udemy stuff sorted. Thank you, Jack. I would like to move on to dropshipping now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course. That is interesting. You have experience talking, I can tell, in the way that you talk and transitioning from... I am not used to this. Normally people just... it is just conversation. It is interesting to me.
No problem. You have many more subscribers, so clearly yours works. Your style works much better. Okay, so as per dropshipping, my first question was what are like the capital and costs to set up required to get started? I mean, I'm not privileged enough to be in a first world geography. I'm in a frontier or emerging market economy, and I was wanting to understand what type of minimum capital you would recommend to set a small structure up.
So for the appeal of dropshipping is that you don't really need to have much at all to start. The problem when you're in another country is having stability. It is much easier to get, if you're dropshipping on eBay, for example, it is much easier to get your account banned or suspended if you are based in another country and you are selling into the US market. However, it is a very real opportunity for a lot of people. So when it comes to dropshipping, realistically, the only costs that you have are associated with cash flow and the programs that you use and virtual assistants. So for example, say that you have PayPal account, you just started doing dropshipping on eBay, you will not receive the money immediately. It will take like a week, 2 weeks for you to receive the money, but you still need to send out the sale. So here's having some capital is helpful because it alleviates your cash flow problem. You can pay for the item now out of your pocket, and then you receive the buyer's money in a week or so, and then it works out. If you do not have capital, it is still doable. There are ways to work around everything. And to be honest, the most beneficial thing that you can do is virtual assistants. I firmly believe that if you are trying to earn money online, your best bet is to start with developing a relationship with a virtual assistant. Even if you are making up some bullshit random task for this virtual assistant to do, the act of using virtual assistants and getting used to it, once you can send a message on WhatsApp and a task gets accomplished because of that, this gives you a very competitive advantage. And this will allow you to do better in almost any form of dropshipping that you do. And so the main 3 forms of dropshipping that I am aware of are dropshipping on eBay, dropshipping through Shopify, and dropshipping on Amazon. And they all have different perks and different...
okay, great. When I understand that, you know, the Amazon, the Shopify, and eBay, you have to pay some sort of monthly setup, right, for the store?
It depends on the size of your store.
Okay.
So, for example, when I drop shipped on eBay, it's important to understand that what I was doing was
Yeah.
I was trying to learn to make money, and I was hoping that I could make some money. But really, my goal was to learn and to make crazy YouTube videos to create an audience for myself. So, because of this, I was able to do reckless things on eBay and get attention and monetize that, right? So in my case, I had to pay a lot of money to have very, very big store because that is what I'm doing. However, if you look at some of the top performing dropshipping stores, there are people earning thousands and thousands of dollars every month, and they have less than 100 items in their store. And so for some reference, to have 100 items on an eBay store costs like either free or maybe like $4 a month. It is negligible. Whereas in my case, I had 100,000 items. This cost $3,000 a month. So for me, it was expensive, but I was doing something that most people do not need to do. It is possible to earn money off of much, much less. So the costs of operation for an eBay store are typically quite low. You are mostly going to be paying a 10% fee on the sales that you make. And because you are making the sale, usually that means you will have the money to pay it. It is not like you must invest $100 every month to be able to do it. It is like you are getting all the sales, and of that, you can use that money to pay the fee.
Okay, so the cash flow works basically, you do not need $3,000 in advance, in this case, cash in hand.
No.
You need to be smart enough to manage the process, make the sales, and then from your sales, you reinvest and you pay out the costs.
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned that you were involved with FBA before. In
Yes.
FBA, there is high startup cost. You do need capital to be able to overcome the barrier of entry in Amazon FBA. So that is different. Whereas dropshipping, the main appeal is that you can start from nothing.
Fantastic. That's super helpful. And out of the three that you're familiar, which one would you, I know most of the videos that you've completed are for eBay, and I worked in Amazon FBA. However, I was just wanting to listen to your recommendation. Which one do you recommend for a new low-cost guy from emerging market?
So it depends on your experience. It's going to be either Shopify or eBay. eBay has the least startup costs, and you do not need to bring your own traffic. So you don't need to understand marketing. You don't need to understand SEO very well in order to get sales. However, the problem is that depending on the country you are in, you may have trouble getting the eBay account to perform without being flagged or banned. You may also have trouble accessing the money from your eBay account. For example, in Nicaragua, you cannot link a PayPal account to a Nicaraguan bank account. So it is possible to make a PayPal account and get money put into it, but then in order to access the money, you have to use a service such as Payoneer, and you lose a bit of fees to this, and that effectively gives you a US bank account, which you can then use to withdraw money in an ATM here. So there are more workarounds for international people. Also, when you are purchasing items as an international person, you will sometimes have trouble with processing orders. It is common for sources to cancel orders when they are made with international PayPals or international credit cards. However, these are all obstacles. They are not impossibilities. Everything can be worked around. So that is the situation with eBay. Whereas with Shopify, you will not have as many of these problems. You do not have to worry about getting banned or any of this, really. However, you must understand how to direct traffic to your Shopify store. You must have quite a solid understanding of SEO and marketing and advertisement in order to make good money on Shopify. And it is very common for people to take Shopify course. They spend weeks creating really pretty Shopify store. They pay $100 for advertisements and they earn $90. This situation is very common. It is very competitive on Shopify, and to excel, you must understand marketing and advertisement very well.
Fantastic. My next and last question, pretty much in the dropshipping segment, is basically if I were to start on the eBay platform, which I feel that here in this market could be something, how would you go about selecting the items for sale?
How to do the product research?
Yes, product research. I understand that there's technologies with algorithms, analyzing markup costs, break-even numbers, so on and so forth. But that's it. I mean, from a finance and a numerical perspective. But say I'm just exploring this opportunity. I mean, I can't believe sometimes that even those, like dog GPSs, they actually sell. I'm very impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, so you must understand two main variables in this case. One is demand for product, and two is the level of competitors, or the amount of competitors selling the product. For example, say that you want to dropship. Many people will immediately go to things like iPhones and maybe latest video games. The problem with these is that there are so many competitors selling these products, and so many of them are not even dropshipping, so they have better prices, this kind of thing, that you can get traffic, you can get noticed, you can get views, but it is highly, highly unlikely that your product will be sold. So this is an example of a product that has very high interest and demand and traffic, but also exponentially high competition. So in some cases, it is better to sell something that does not have very much demand, but has almost no competition. You must think of both of these variables, and typically, there are two main ways to get an edge. One is through using virtual assistants, and two is through using software to do product research. Because this
Sorry to interrupt. You had mentioned virtual assistants before.
Yeah.
Could you please kind of hone in on that and illustrate munchies for what virtual assistants are?
Yeah, so a virtual assistant is somebody who lives in, well, they don't have to live in a country where cost of living is low, but in general, you want to hire a virtual assistant who lives in a country where the cost of living is very low, because you can pay them $4 an hour, and that is very good money for them. Like here in Nicaragua, for example, if you can earn $600 a month, that is good job. You are doing well. So, the advantage of having virtual assistants is that in the US, for example, say I wanted somebody to do something for me. I would have to pay them a lot of money in order for them to be highly motivated. It would cost about 5 times as much to get highly motivated US person.
What types of jobs or tasks are you looking at when talking to these people? What types of assignments do they have to complete?
So it depends on what you are using the virtual assistant for. Many people who dropship, they start by having the virtual assistant either do customer service so that the dropshipper can focus on finding products, or they have the virtual assistant just create listings. So for example, I would do product research or whatever, and I would create document. I would create spreadsheet with hundreds of URLs of items that I want to post on my store. The virtual assistant would look at these URLs, and they do not need to try and find the item because I have already found it. All they have to do is post the item. And this is important because a lot of these tasks in these dropshipping businesses are very boring and monotonous, and it is very easy to get lost and to give up because you get tired of it after a couple weeks. So by having a virtual assistant focus on the more monotonous tasks, this allows you to take a step back and focus more on finding better products, creating better system that does product research. But you can use VAs to do everything. You could have the whole process be done with VAs, and all you do is pay your VAs, and that is your job.
Okay, that's super helpful. Great. So now we can move back to our question, which was how to select items for sale. One of the things you had identified was software. Second thing was a VA, and you were explaining me.
Yeah, so with VAs, in general, you're going to work with two different kinds of VAs. There are VAs that you teach them to do a task, and they follow the instruction and do the task. Then there are VAs who already have experience doing something, and you are paying them to do something that maybe you do not understand. So personally, I only work with VAs that I teach how to do something. Whereas the other VAs, they are more expensive, but you could pay them because their job is to do product research. They have systems to figure this out. And in some cases, if you wanted to, you could pay VA, learn his system, and then just work for a little bit, a temporary amount of time, and then you go and train a cheaper VA to do the same thing. In general, with VAs, you always want to work with the VAs that you can teach something specific, because you will get more bang for your buck, so to speak. So you can use virtual assistants to find products, or you can use software. And in many cases, the virtual assistants you pay to find products, they know software, they have software subscription, they already have process. So they are just doing it, but you could do that, right? And the way that most software works is they think of those two variables. They think of amount of interest in a product and amount of competitors. They compare these two to come up with a metric that determines if the product is good to sell or not. That is product research. There is one other kind of software called Sniping. And what this does is it looks at items that other people have sold. So snipers will only sell the items that other people have sold. And in a world where everybody is sniping, that does not work. It is a bit of a more selfish mentality, but it can be very, very effective. So many people use a combination of both.
Thank you, Jack, for covering the dropshipping subject. Thanks. The next aspect or internet platform online that I wanted to touch base with you was Teachable.
Okay.
What are your what are your thoughts on Teachable? As I look to grow and maybe expose myself on Teachable, I wanted to see what your thoughts were, and if you recommended it over Udemy.
Yeah, so Teachable, you can think of it like Shopify. Teachable has the potential to be much more profitable than selling courses on Udemy. Most people who sell courses on Teachable, they are at least $100 or $200 a course, and you get most of that money. The problem is that you have to bring the traffic to the Teachable course. So it is a better option for people who understand marketing, or they have a audience already. Like if you run a YouTube channel, then you can make a Teachable course and you will be able to get sales on Teachable. Whereas if you did not have the YouTube channel, it may be hard because on Teachable it is just website there. They do not bring the traffic to you like Udemy does.
Okay, fair. And if I'm exploring, first of all, can I be Teachable and Udemy as well?
Yeah, it is possible.
Okay, awesome. And the second question that I wanted to ask you is, when exploring your pricing model for Teachable, as you know, I believe there's 3 or 4. I'm not very clear. Do you know?
I actually do not have that much experience with Teachable. I know that it does cost money to have a course on Teachable,
Yeah.
but it is not very expensive. I think, yeah, so it is $30 for the most basic plan, and they will take 5% of your sales. So you receive 95% of your course sales. So
Oh,
$30 is very little price to pay for that. For
okay.
example, on Udemy, I on average receive $4 per course sale,
Hmm.
even
Because
though it is $20.
oh, okay. And this is all through organic reach, correct?
Yeah,
Because today I was looking at the Teachable kind of business model, and one of the things that they have is you could take a one-time payment, or you could make a subscription channel in which they pay me monthly or annually.
yeah.
And I was looking to explore that, uh, perhaps because of this continuous evolution that people go through in the self-learning process.
Yeah, any kind of monthly income is amazing. I would much rather have $10 or $20 monthly fee than one time $50.
Okay. That makes sense. And also you can bundle your courses in the Teachable. But great, I'm gonna set it up there and also maybe touch base with you in due course once there's more work from my side.
Yeah, that is good. One thing. So when talking about multiple platforms, people often worry. They think thoughts like, "Oh, why would the user buy on Teachable when they could buy on Udemy and it is cheaper?" It's important to understand that many of these platforms have completely separate audiences. So it's in your best interest to have a presence on every single platform. There are going to be some times where you get message and maybe one student out of every 50 or whatever is like, "Oh, I paid $80 on this website, but you have it for $20 here." These things happen sometimes, but they are not a good reason to not use multiple platforms. Using multiple platforms is very, very beneficial because it grows your online presence much more effectively. For example, with me, I have a Udemy course and I have a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel has all of the information on the Udemy course. There is no filter, there is nothing that I purposefully hold back on my YouTube channel. I don't have the same videos, but the same concepts are taught on both platforms. Many people would think, "Oh, nobody will buy your Udemy course because you have the information for free on YouTube." But this is not how people work. Often they are willing to pay more so that it is more organized, so that they do not have to look as hard to find the information.
Fantastic. I think you hit some key points for the people, and this is why I respect and appreciate your messages to your audience. My last kind of point was I reviewed some of your videos prior to our call, and one of the things that touched my mind was this group, a mastermind group. Um, I think that's a very interesting subject, and I was hoping to, I'm quite old. I'm a very old man when compared to you, but I was hoping to maybe join in. So I do not know if there was a survey or a form or how to go about that.
Okay, so I want to get a mastermind group set up where it is maybe like 5 to 10 people where we meet regularly to ask each other questions. But in order to get to that point, I need to get more experience. So what I have started with are these support groups, and the way that they work is I'm teaching concepts about efficiency of time spent. So each group has 4 people in it, and it meets once a week for 1 month for 2 hours. On the first meeting, we each talk to each other, introduce ourselves, and then explain exactly how we are spending our time. We just write it down. There is no insight or lessons to be learned in the first session. It is just establishing, okay, this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is what I am doing. Then, the next lesson is using a model presented in the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where you look at how you are spending your time and you ask yourself questions such as, is this urgent and is this important? So all tasks are one of 4 categories. They are either not urgent, not important, urgent and important, not urgent but important, or not important but urgent. And what I've found with most people is that they do not look at the root cause of their problems, which is themselves. Many of us spend our time inefficiently. It really only takes 30 minutes a day to change your life and to develop amazing things. But many of us think, oh, I must work my ass off all the time for 8-10 hours every day. But if you are not working smart, you could work for 20 hours in a day and get only an hour of work done. And the problem when you are overworking is that you numb your brain and you remove your ability to see things clearly. And the ability to see things clearly is what makes a good entrepreneur. So really, if you want to succeed, you must look at yourself and the way that you spend your time, and you must ask yourself, is this relevant to what I want? Because every day, you should be doing things that develop you into who you want to be and what you want to work on. So right now, this group is just about that. It is talking about efficiency, and it is a rotation of people. So 1 month is one group of people. Then I move on to the next group. And over time, I will build a list of the individuals in these groups who stand out. And then I will invite them to be part of a long-term mastermind group that maybe meets like every 2 weeks or something like this.
Excellent. This is such a great idea. I think it can really help people develop themselves personally and professionally. So yeah, hats off to you, Jack.
And if you or anybody else wants to sign up for these teaching groups, you can look in the description. There's a link to a landing page where you can sign up. And the way this works is you sign up, and then I have your email address. I send out Doodle poll to figure out a 2-hour window that works for most people. And then whoever is able to make that window, that's who I will do the call with. And the times will change. Right now, I am just starting the group for the first time, so I will still be learning about it. But I am trying to have, I want to have a revolving group of people, and hopefully, the individuals will keep talking to each other after I am moved on to the next group. But who knows?
Okay, that's nice to hear, Jack. I think you've covered all my questions. I'm going to take action and ASAP, and hopefully we get some good results. I would like to have a follow-up call with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody, yourself or anybody listening, you guys can always go to calendly.com/JackDermotPittman and schedule a call with me. The only caveat or the only catch is that these calls are recorded and published to my YouTube channel. Aside from that, they are free. You do not have to pay anything. And we could literally talk about anything that you want. It could be about dogs, it could be about life, or about drop shipping, YouTube, anything.
Great, Jack. Can we wrap up, or do you wrap up?
So I will end the recording, and then we can talk after I finish it. Okay?
Okay.
All right, guys. Again, if you want to sign up for the group, check out the description. If you want to set up a call with me, check out the description. If you want to see any of Joe's courses or his YouTube channel, check out the description. And I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!